So today we're going to take a look at James Harden's biggest disappearing acts in the NBA playoffs. Welcome to Fleece TV. Let's get it. For a guy that's a top 75 player of all time and a future Hall of Famer, James Harden has had many flame-out moments in the playoffs during his career. In his first and only finals appearance, James Harden averaged 12 points per game on 38% shooting from the field, down from his season averages of 17 points on 49% shooting. Now, this is 2012, where Harden was a sixth man as part of the OKC trio alongside Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, so he gets the pass of being inexperienced. Harden has now played 13 seasons in the NBA, and the excuse of being young has since faded away, but yet Harden's struggles and big moments continue. Before we continue, just giving you guys a reminder to drop a like on the video, as it'll help James Harden have better playoff success. 2013 first round versus OKC. James Harden became the #1 man for the Houston Rockets after being traded from OKC in the 2012 offseason and faced his former team in the first round of the playoffs. While he had his numbers of 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, Harden's efficiency was terrible at 34% from 3 and 39% overall, with close to 5 turnovers. Although it was his first season as the go-to guy for a franchise, Harden did go up against an OKC team that was missing Russell Westbrook after Game 2 due to injuries, and shot only 7 of 22 at home in the elimination game. 2014 first round versus the Blazers. In his second series as the lead guy, James Harden would face the Portland Trail Blazers in the first round of the 2014 playoffs. Similar to the previous year, he shot worse than 37% from the field in 4 out of 6 games, while of course having his counting numbers of 27 points and 6 assists. His running mate Dwight Howard had an amazing series as he averaged 26 and 14 with 3 blocks, but the Rockets' best player was a no-show as he was outperformed by LaMarcus Aldridge and Damian Lillard. 2015 Western Conference Finals versus the Golden State Warriors. James Harden had 3 good games this series, but for what you expect from a player of his caliber, was very disappointing for crucial games 3 and 5, while also being outplayed by Steph Curry. Game 3 would see the Houston Rockets at home with a chance to make the series competitive, and Harden played poorly, going 3 of 16 from the field with 17 points. In one of the worst performances from a superstar we will ever see, he had 14 points in Game 5 and shot 2 of 11 from the field, 0 of 3 from downtown, and not to mention a playoff record of 12 turnovers. 2016 first round versus the Warriors. In a 5-game series, Harden only played well in 2 of them and was very inefficient in the first 4 overall. With Stephen Curry missing Game 2 and hurt in Game 4, Harden had 2 terrible performances in games the Rockets should have won. Curry missing 3 out of the 5 games is one thing, but Harden got outplayed on both ends of the floor by Klay Thompson. In games 2 to 5, Klay averaged 25 points on 48, 46, 82 shooting splits, and his elite defense caused Harden to struggle from the field. 2017 second round versus San Antonio. Harden's numbers look great, but of course the inefficiency was there, along with him failing to show up in series deciding games. Game 2 saw him drop an abysmal 13 points with 4 turnovers as he shot 17% from the field on 3 of 17 attempps. Game 5 resulted in a triple-double for him, but Harden was 0 of 3 from the field with 3 turnovers in overtime, which was capped off by an amazing block by Manu Ginobili. The Spurs, while missing 2 of their best players in Kawhi Leonard and Tony Parker, will close the series out in 6. James Harden had an all-time superstar collapse with 10 points, 6 turnovers on 2 of 11 from the field, and couldn't get the win at home versus the depleted Spurs. 2018 Western Conference Finals versus the Warriors. One could argue that no team could defeat the Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant-led Warriors, but the Houston Rockets had that opportunity in the 2018 playoffs. They would blow their chance after securing a 3-2 series lead, and while Harden wasn't the most efficient, he did play well until Game 6 and 7. Houston got off to a 17-point first quarter lead and looked to be on their way to the NBA Finals. Harden went 4 of 10 from the field with 3 turnovers in the second half and was a -32 where the Rockets lost. Harden and the Rockets had a chance now to win Game 7 without CP3, as they had an 11-point lead at halftime and could have been more if Harden shot better than 1 of 9 in the second quarter. The Rockets as a team played well in this stretch, but them missing 27 consecutive threes at one point in the game ultimately led to them losing and watching the Warriors advance to the NBA Finals. 2020 second round versus LA. James Harden had a solid series against the Los Angeles Lakers in the 2020 bubble, even starting with a Game 1 victory for the Rockets. Now, while his Game 2 efficiency was great, Harden's lack of shot attempts is very puzzling. He had 5 turnovers to his 6 field goals made out of 12, going for 27 points, but scored only 6 in the fourth quarter in a game the Rockets had a chance of winning. With his squad down 2-1 in an important Game 4, Harden went to the free throw line 20 times. Impressive, except he made 0 impact on the court elsewhere, turning the ball over 5 times and shot a horrible 18% from the field. Yet another terrible game for Harden, where his team needed him the most and the Lakers would complete the gentleman's sweep in 5. 2021 second round versus the Bucks. To be fair to Harden, he was dealing with a hamstring injury this series, but while he wasn't 100%, his performance in the games he did play was brutal. The Milwaukee Bucks decided to focus their defense on Kevin Durant, which led to tons of open looks for Harden and was something he wasn't quite used to in his career. Harden would average 10.8 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists this series against the Bucks and shot just 30% overall. Once again, the hamstring injury played a big factor, but to perform this poorly is almost inexcusable. 2022 second round versus the Miami Heat. Harden was brought to Philly at the trade deadline to become the closer and the second superstar for Joel Embiid in 2022 after some controversy in Brooklyn. With Embiid missing the first few games due to injury, Harden didn't exactly perform at a level we're used to seeing from him. But what's alarming was his Game 6 performance. Not only did he score just 11 points in an elimination game and had as many turnovers as field goals made, Harden shot the ball just twice in the second half for a total of 0 points. Next season, we can only hope that James Harden returns to form and looks like the superstar we've known him to be, or Philly could regret the trade considering the amount of money they could commit to him. The Sixers could end up paying Harden well over $60 million at age 37, and much like the guys on this list, could think twice about giving him such a deal. Check it out.